So this is something I've been waiting for in the mail. So, I have a sporterized Lee Enfield No.4 Mark 1. Actually, it's a No.4 Mark 1/2. I guess it was smithed and repaired after the war and with the trigger updated. What I'd like to do is take the No.4 Mark 1 and return it back to the way it looked when it rolled off the assembly line in the 40s. When it was getting ready for World War II. So I'm kind of going to take a veteran and hopefully return it back to original shape. I've gotten the covers, a 4-stop, a front band, and a middle band. I don't have the hardware for these, so I'm going to have to find some screws at the next gun show. But they'll go in as such. And add a little bit to it. I got my father's spike bayonet that he was issued when he was in the Canadian Forces. Now, my father was a veteran of World War II. However, I think this was issued after World War II because he was a machine gunner, and I think he carried one of these when he was doing some peacekeeping. And the bayonet is marked No.4 Mark 2. So it will match the firearm. The surface that I have here is rather dark, and I think the wood doesn't quite match. I'm going to do a light sanding and see if I can get it to match that color here. So this is the No.4 Mark 1/2 that will be taken apart and putting the stock on. So this is the stock we'll be replacing, and one thing I have found that was interesting. When I line up the stock, where this ends is where this starts. So I'm just wondering if they actually used the same piece of wood when they sporterized these. So I'll remove the bolt and we'll start taking this thing apart. So it took a little bit of wiggling, but I finally was able to get that out with that screw hole there. Okay. Alright, so I got the screw out of here, the screw out of here, and I even took the trigger guard off. And she's just starting to budge now. There we go. And then goes the 4-stock. When I compare the forestock from the sporterized model to the original, you can see where in the factory they've probably just sanded or cut off and sanded off the edges of the original forestock. This is going to be awkward. So the first hurdle that we've come across is when the trigger was changed to a Mark 1 to a Mark 2, I do believe they had to cut away part of the stock. And on this one, since it's for an original Mark 1, the stock is intact. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of research, but it looks like I'm going to have to cut that away to make it match the sporterized version because the firearm was reconditioned after World War II for the Mark II trigger.